Welcome in to the Mind of a Coach podcast. These are your hosts, Coach Nathan Moran, Coach Asa Duvall. Asa, what episode is this?
I believe it's 19, right?
God, is it bad that I'm already getting lost? Does that mean we've done too many? Do we need to
Of course
stop or do
not.
we need to keep going?
Nah, keep going, dude. Don't quit. Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
The inspirational quotes from Asa. Who knew we were going to see them so early? But
Coming
Asa,
out hot.
how are you doing this morning?
I'm good this morning.
Hey, people might be listening in the morning.
Oh, true. I'm good, man. I'm good, dude. We had a game get canceled this weekend. Yeah. I mean, we had practice Friday. Everything was going smooth. We had film, getting the scout ready, and then boom, all of a sudden, after as soon as practice ended, we got the news that we weren't going to be able to play on Saturday. So, but man, still just one day at a time, man. One day at a time. So, but yeah, everything's good. Other than that, like I said, one day at a time, dude. That's how the season's going to be. That's how it's been, and so
It's crazy,
we'll be all right.
dude.
What about y'all? What y'all got going on?
We have top 25 Valdosta State this weekend, so just preparing for that, trying to get everything ready. Tested today, knock on wood. Hopefully everything's not positive, negative. It's a positive result. Like, hey, we're happy about it. Yeah, you know what I meant. But good, man. You have a weekly positivity.
I'm alive and kicking, I guess. I'm alive and kicking.
I was waiting on that when I asked you how you were doing.
I had to switch it up a little bit, keep you on your toes. You know how it is.
You got me.
But I don't know. I mean, right now we got a game on Thursday, so just hoping that happens as scheduled. So after getting canceled this Saturday, I think that's a positive.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say my something positive that's been going on with me is, I don't know. I guess we got 2 wins this past weekend, and that's pretty positive.
Big weekend, dude. Big weekend for y'all.
Yeah. So not only did we get to play, we got to win. So
yeah.
And the guys, like it does. I think it's gonna be very tough doing these double headers. We talked about it with Coach Eastrom. It's a grind that second day. Guys are a little bit more tired.
What's it like? I mean, are y'all doing the same scouting report? Are y'all just kind of feeding them the same information? Are you changing anything up? Give me, what's it like? Because I know I've said it before, but we're not doing that, obviously.
I mean, obviously, if we see anything else, X's and O's wise on the court that they might have ran once or twice, if we could pick up on some calls, we can kind of pass that on. Like we can say them that, like, if they were going like this, it's horns. Maybe we can't see that on film, or we didn't know it from last year. Maybe they put in a new set from last year, et cetera. So we can discuss that stuff. But for the most part, they played against the guys. They know who they're playing now.
Right.
Unless they just have somebody that was not playing that first game. But,
So what do you think the back-to-backs, do you think the first game benefits the better team more, or does the second game benefit the better team more? That's kind of what I'm trying to figure out, because the first game you haven't played each other yet, and then that second game, it's almost like an NBA playoff. You're familiar with each other. You just saw each other the night before. Is there any difference in that approach to it?
That's interesting that you say that, because you would think that the second game would almost be more beneficial to the better or more talented team. Mm-hmm. I actually think that but I'm gonna put a new kind of twist on this. Is I think the advantage goes to the team that lost the first night.
Yeah.
And the reason I say this is because, like, you are only playing a small amount of games this year. So your back is kind of against the wall if you lose that first one. You're like, oh, I got to scratch and claw to win this next one. Right, and so you just see a lot of grit. Like, I'm like, guys just like, I don't want to lose 2 in a row. So I think the advantage kind of goes in the first game. It'll be better team, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Second game, I think toss up, but I mean, who knows? I think you typically you'll see a lot of splits in this.
Yeah.
But
yeah. That's interesting. I mean, because y'all won too. That's not easy to do. I wonder what the mentality like is of your guys going into a second game, knowing that this is the last chance they'll probably get to play that team until the conference tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting for sure. Definitely interesting. But all right, Asa. So historical fact, and I'm gonna do a fun fact for 2021 NBA basketball. This person in 2021 is averaging 37.5 points per 40 minutes, shooting 47% from 3. Do you know who this person is in 2021?
He's averaging 37 in the NBA.
37 and a half per 40 minutes. Which is kind of silly that I did per 40 minutes. I should have probably done, what, per 60? No, it is per 60.
Per 48.
Per 48. Per 48.
Per 48.
I think I did bad math, Asa. Let me redo this math really quick. It was just bad math. So we got it.
Normally it's per
48. All right, excuse me. It's actually 30. 30 points, not 37 and a half.
Per 48, right?
Yep, 37 or 30 points per 48.
Oh, I know who it is.
And shooting 47% clip from three.
Who is it? It's Garrison.
The Garrison Mathews. The Garrison Mathews. So if you don't know, now you know.
Oh, wow.
Garrison Mathews.
He had a great game Saturday. He ended up playing well last night, wasn't it? Right? On Monday night. Didn't he have a decent game last night?
Yeah, shot the ball well. 11 points.
I'm glad. I'm glad he's finally getting some tick. Another guy who's got an opportunity right now, Jordan Bone. I know we've had Josh Bone on the podcast before, but Markel Fultz unfortunately went down with an ACL injury. So Jordan's got a shot right now. He's been playing well with the minutes he's got. He has, and gosh, what a great signing by him to pick that.
I mean, sometimes you just got to take advantage of opportunities. I mean, what is Garrison doing right now? He took advantage of Bradley Beal being out and Russell Westbrook being out and performed. Yeah. And that's what happens with these players that aren't big names. They have to perform when the lights come on and their number is called. Yeah, for certain. But 30 points per 48 minutes. That's boy, G Money, 47% from three. Put some respect on his name and give him that paycheck, because that's all I got to say about that. Yeah. But now that I had all I have to say. So he can finally get some reliable Wi-Fi at his place. Good. We'll have him back when he has better Wi-Fi. But that was now that I have said what I needed to get off my chest, Asa, what do you have to get off your chest? All right, Nathan, I feel like I've figured out how to solve the world's problems. I honestly feel like I've figured this out. How to solve the world's problems. And I think a lot of our issues have to do with social media and this thing that it's created, this vacuum. I think that has that's been a lot of the reason why we're at where we are. Anyway, so what I came up with was this: take your pictures, send your tweets. They just can't post until December 1st, right? But even on December 1st, they don't actually post. What you have to do is you have to go back from everything you tweeted, every picture you posted. You have to pick 12, one from each month that you really like. And then on December 31st, New Year's Eve, you get to post it. And I think that would make people happier. I think we would stop worrying about what everybody was doing at every moment. I think it would cure a lot of the ills that's going on right now in the world. That's my proposal. What do you think? Okay. So I'm going to ask a couple questions. One, so is this like a Christmas card almost? It could be, yeah, a type of Christmas card, holiday card, whatever. A social media Christmas card. Yeah. But here, everybody's worried about what everybody's doing at every given moment. And I'm just like, look, post it, tweet it, but then it doesn't actually get out there. And then you get to go back and you get to decide, maybe I shouldn't have posted that, or maybe I shouldn't have tweeted that. Now you get to pick the 12 ones that you think deserve to be out there and seen by the world on December 31st. And then that's how we're going to treat social media for the next year and see where we're at. I don't think it'd be a bad thing. I like your creative process flowing right now. Pretty sure I just solved all the world's problems. I'm convinced of it, that would solve all of the problems. I think there might be a little more some more problems than that, but maybe a problem because, it takes away the emotional tweeting, instigating. Exactly. Everybody's too emotional. Creates more rationale behind it because you get to be like, 100%. Oh, yeah. You got to be, yeah. I don't know. That's now, I don't think it'll happen, but it's a nice idea. It's a nice idea for sure. Appreciate it. All right. So my 3 keys, once again, passing them along to our guest this week. Our guest is former teammate of Asa and I's, and we'll get right into it.
What's up, JJ? Nothing, man. Just another night.
Another
That was
night. Look how professional you are. Look at you with your CH Chestnut Hill shirt on.
Yeah, my one of like 5 shirts because we haven't been back on campus and haven't been able to put a gear order in. And everything's been put on freeze because of COVID. I have like a
Y'all
total
have
of like 3 Chestnut Hill shirts from when I was there.
so y'all haven't even played yet, or nothing.
Dude, I have a team that I'm really confident in, and I have some transfers that I'm really excited to see, and some freshmen that I'm really excited about, and have not seen any of them on the court together at all.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. Let's get into it. All right. So our guest today is head coach, Division II, Chestnut Hill. JJ Butler, our good friend, played at Lipscomb University and also finished playing at Chestnut Hill. He was an assistant coach, and you're going to have to help me say it because I might say it wrong. Susquehanna?
Yes, sir. You hit it right on the nose.
Let's go. All right, Susquehanna. And just recently, his first year as a head coach at the age of, if I'm not mistaken, 26.
Yes, sir.
Age of 26, first year head coach. JJ, we're glad to have you. Have one of the youngest, brightest minds out here in the game right now. Welcome, JJ Butler.
Thanks for having me, guys. I've been following. Obviously, it's exciting to follow 2 guys I've played with do this stuff. You guys have put together a solid platform for young coaches to follow. So thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
You are one of, if not the youngest head coaches in the country at the collegiate level, coaching Division II basketball at Chestnut Hill. What are some steps you actively take to prepare yourself for this role?
I tried to become the best learner I could possibly be. I don't think I'm doing anything different than you guys are doing as assistants right now. I found myself watching a ton of film, reaching out to a ton of head coaches, trying to just make sure I was learning the game and seeing it from as many views as possible. I'm sure you guys have one, but I was always like, I have a little playbook. I was taking stuff from coaches I like. I have play calls and like defensive calls. When I was an assistant, I tried to go to other practices as much as possible. Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania is probably as far away from every other town in the state of Pennsylvania as you could be. Ironically, we were right down the street from Bucknell. I was able to go watch Bucknell practice a handful. So little stuff like that, just trying to learn from other people and watch film and figure out what I like about the game, what I don't like about the game. And just making sure when I had the opportunity to be the head guy that I had a solid hold on what I wanted my team's basketball to look like.
When did you start keeping that book? I mean, I don't want to just straight up ask you when did you know you wanted to coach, but like when did you start really jotting things down and being like, all right, this is going to be a thing. Like I'm ready for this. I want to do this. When did you start really putting that in your head every day?
So at first it wasn't a book. When
Yeah.
I was an assistant at Chestnut Hill, I wasn't getting paid. So I was working a full-time job. I was working a 9-to-5 job. And I would sit there and wouldn't do my job. This is when I decided to coach, ironically.
Yeah.
But I wasn't doing my job. Like I was doing a good enough job, but like I was on Synergy watching film all the time. And I took notes on Post-its all the time for like customers. So
Yeah.
I had like crazy abundance of Post-its on my desk. So I literally used to take sheets out of the printer, put the sheets down. I don't know why I used the Post-its, but I would put Post-its on the pieces of paper and like draw the sequence of plays that I like from Synergy, or like that's how I would prepare scouts like mentally. So it started as a manila folder. Then I get the job at Susquehanna, and my boss asked me to bring stuff to him that I thought would be beneficial for our team, stuff that we could run offensively, defensively. And I like brought him this manila folder, and he was like, do better. Like, why do you have this like all these loose papers? Like you can just be more professional. And he gave me like these small packets, these small books, in the front of them, it's like the texture of a basketball. It's pretty cool. I wish I had one to show you guys, but I don't. And I just started keeping track of all that stuff in these small notebooks. I got 2 of them right now, but yeah.
Yo, that's great. I've been writing, like, if I'm out at a restaurant or something, I've been writing things down on like a napkin. I'm like asking the waitress, like, hey, you got a pen real quick or something? Like I have like 5 to 6 napkins right now that I've just filled up with random either thoughts or plays or something like that.
The funny thing is, when I went back to look at those Post-its,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm looking at the Post-its, I'm like, what in the world was I writing down? Like,
Yeah, right.
I'm really trying to like jog my memory on
Yeah.
what these arrows mean. Like, is that a screen? Is
Right.
it a
Like I have
cover?
no idea.
And then like I'm like I'm doing it with pen, so I'm scribbling lines like,
Yeah.
oh no, I don't want him to go there, I want him to go here. So it'll be funny, like when you go back one day and you look at those Post-its. I mean, you look at those napkins. Don't lose the napkins, but when you look at them,
no, no.
it'll be funny.
I take pictures of them on my phone just to make sure I don't lose them.
Smart man, way smarter than me. Shoot.
Nah, I don't know about that. Hey, all right. So what's it like to just be a head coach at such a young age now? You know, I guess what is this? Is this your 4th year coaching? 3rd?
Yeah, 4th.
I mean, all of a sudden, you've been an assistant. You think, you got to go through all these hoops and ladders, and now you're the guy. You're the guy that you've been looking up to for a while. What's that been like?
It's been awesome. It's a dream come true, to be honest. But on like the realistic side of things, it's an eye opener because this is what you want. You guys, this is what you want. This is what I wanted. And then you get here, and something that'll stick with me from my old boss is I told him I was applying for the job. What do I need to expect? What do I need to prepare for while I'm going through the interview process? And he said, if you get the job and you become the head coach, realize that you're no longer making suggestions. You're only making decisions.
Yeah.
Because as an assistant coach, it's really easy to make suggestions because you're like, I think this will be great. And if the head coach doesn't take it, you're like, man, he should have listened, or, oh, well, he didn't take it. What we went with worked really well for us. But now I'm not making suggestions. Like I gotta make a definitive decision as to whether or not we're going to press this way, or we're going to guard ball screens this way, or we're going to go get through the first half of non-conference play and realize, hey, what we're doing may not be working. Now I have to make the decision to chalk it and figure out what we got to do to make us successful. So I have not ran into those obstacles yet, but that's the stuff I think about. Like, what am I going to do? Like, how easy is it going to be for me to make those tough decisions? So it's been awesome. It's been a blessing. I'm beyond juiced, beyond excited to be in the role I'm in, but it's definitely been an eye opener realizing that I'm no longer making suggestions. It's only decisions, and my decisions affect a handful of people.
Yeah. I'm assuming you have to have a short memory when it comes to making decisions.
Well, if you guys remember my basketball playing career, I'd hope you remember that I have a short memory. So hopefully that bodes well for me in the coaching realm.
Well, if you also remember your career, you're also one of the hardest workers and fiercest leaders out there. So let's not get that twisted at all. But another question is, from being a player to being a coach, and you jumped fast. You went from player to graduate assistant to head coach within a matter of years. What has been the biggest transition from that player to coach stage?
Studying the game has been the biggest transition, and obviously my transition happened extremely fast. But as a player, you're really worried about how can you impact the team and what you need to work on when you're in the gym. You're really just worried about your role as far as to impacting the program, right? Now I'm studying the game because I got to know everybody's role. I got to know the other team's role. You know what I mean? Like, I got to know the dudes on the other team's role. I got to it's like a game of chess that I really have to study and be prepared for. Have you guys watched Queens Gambit on Netflix?
I was literally about to bring that up. Yes.
So that's what it is, dude. That's what it is. Like, as a player, you're an amateur chess player. Like, you're just like, screw it. My goal is just to get to the queen, right? As a player, your goal is just to play and produce and be an impactful person on the floor some way or somehow. When you're an amateur chess player, you just want to get the king, get the queen. But then you watch Queen's Gambit and you're watching this chick map the whole game out. And then after the game's played, she goes back and replays
the whole thing in her mind.
Yeah. So I would say that's the transition. Now I'm replaying games. I'm replaying every possession in my head. I'm replaying timeouts. I'm replaying timeout calls. Like, yes, what do I do to prepare? Like when you watch basketball TV, when the coach calls timeout, grab a piece of paper and call your play.
Yeah.
Like that's pressure. Like
That's a good one.
So you're not, I don't know, you're not just a piece on the table anymore. You're the one moving the pieces, and I don't know. I feel like that sounds super theatrical, but
no, I like it.
I mean, it's
No,
exciting,
that's dope.
right? It's what we do. It's why we're here. It's the end goal, right?
Get a little more detail. What is something that you've taken from your playing days to coaching, other than just like work ethic and how much time? Like, is there something that you took as a player? Like, because now I look back sometimes and I'm like, how I thought about one thing as a player is not going to work for me as a coach, right? But there are some things that I can take from it. Are there anything that comes to mind with you when it comes to things that you've taken from your playing days to you as a coach now?
I mean, the best thing I did as a player was just be able to guard the ball and be a communicator. And I think that's something I bring to practice every day. That's something I bring to our intention as a team. I want us to intentionally be good on the defensive end. I want to be able to talk fearlessly, talk to where we're kind of speaking our own language. Yeah. And as an assistant, I was able to kind of have my hands on the defensive end to where I felt like I got a really good grasp as to how to mold that end of the floor. Just because that's what came naturally to me as a player. That's kind of where I'm hanging my hat as a coach. Something that I did not really understand as a player, which is really bad to say because I was playing with the ball in my hands, but possessions matter. And that sounds super obvious, right? But as a coach, you lose 2 possessions as a coach and it burns. But talk about short memory, you lose possessions as a player, you're thinking next play. Yeah. So that's been a spin as well, coming to this end of the game.
Yeah, and also as a player, it's like, man, I took my bad shot. Well, if everyone takes a bad shot, I mean, that's 5 to 10 bad shots out there, and that's 10 possessions. So we can't afford all of those bad shots.
Yeah, you hit it on the head. That's exactly what it is, to be completely honest.
All right, JJ, so I do 3 keys every week. And so my 3 keys are always trying to find – so I used to start doing it – or, excuse me, when I started to do the 3 keys, it was me helping the people listening with 3 things that were important in the game of basketball. Since I started doing it, I've shifted away and I have given it to people that are a lot smarter than I. And you today are the smarter than I. So my 3 keys to the game of basketball that I'm going to ask you today is, you are one of these. What are 3 keys for young coaches in this profession? Yeah, that's on the spot, JJ.
Yeah, okay. 3, ambitious. I'm going to put ambitious with a asterisk underneath it of fearless. And
Say that one more time. Say that one more time, JJ.
And ambitious with an asterisk under it to say fearless.
Fearless.
Dedicated and hungry. Those are my 3.
Okay. So
what did fearless look like for you?
You can't be afraid to take a job that doesn't yield immediate benefits. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you both are prime examples of it. Yeah. You keep saying I'm one of the youngest head coaches in the country. I took a Division III job prior to this where I'm not getting paid a ton of money, but I was a part of a great program, worked under a great head coach that's won a ton of games, that knows the game very, very well, and then was able to take those 2 things and help the program win games. And if I told you guys how much money I was making, you guys would probably laugh at me. but now I get the
I
opportunity.
I would not laugh at you. I
promise you, we would not.
All right,
We would
look,
laugh
look.
at you.
Okay, so but that's my thing. Like you have to be fearless. Like you can't.
Yeah.
I got married in the middle of doing that too.
That's
right? Like,
crazy to me, man.
Nate-
That I don't. And
Nate, you
Nate,
got
I mean,
married,
Nate pretty much did. I don't. Kudos to
It's
y'all
tough,
because I don't
dude.
know how y'all swung that.
I would say kudos to our wives more than us, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
amen. Yeah,
Because-
you're right.
100%.
Dude, that's the bottom. Like
Yeah.
when you talk about like really trying to make it into the coaching profession and being with a significant other, I can't tell you how many times I would talk to guys at like the Final Four during the interview, and they look at me and they're like, "Oh, you're young and you're single, right?"
Yeah.
Because like that's what people are saying. Like to really get after it and pour yourself into it, the best situation for you to be in is be single, to where you're not responsible for a significant other, or you don't have to worry about being there for somebody else, right?
Yeah.
So like that response, like I am not single,
Yeah.
and I'm about to get married, or I'm engaged to dudes. Like when I'm at such a young age, people look at me like, "Good luck, bro."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, you got to be fearless, dude, because you're going to put yourself in some scary situations, some situations that don't, to the outside looking in, you look like you're crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, all the greats are crazy.
Yeah, you gotta have something off about you, right? Like
You got something
for sure.
off. You got to have something off.
Kobe and Jordan, arguably the two greatest ever, right? And
Yeah.
they're both crazy.
Yeah.
LeBron
and
is
the
crazy,
outside,
bro.
and the outsider looking in.
Yeah, but
LeBron.
you can appreciate it. Yeah,
Nah, I'm playing.
this
I'm
man
playing.
Nate don't like LeBron. I mean, I
Cap.
know
Nah,
age,
he do. He
No.
do.
No, that was a younger me. That was a younger
Okay.
eye.
I got a lot of respect for LeBron. I mean, you got to be crazy to.
They
be
all.
successful.
I remember playing AAU. Like you play some highly touted recruit. It was on a good AAU team, and like I remember just specific moments where it was somebody who was that good that like they did something on the court, and I was like, oh, he's a little crazy. He's got something up here that ain't it's not clicking.
Yeah,
Not in a
dude.
bad way, but that's what drove them to be so good. That's why they worked as hard as they did. That's why they were as competitive as they were. I just always found that fascinating, that every time there was somebody that was that good at something, there was something like a little just that drove them over the edge to be way more competitive than anybody they ran across.
Yeah, and so we talk about ambitious. I'm sorry, I gotta interrupt. We're going on time. Ambitious. The next one was dedicated. What do you mean by dedicated? Because obviously the common thing that everyone think about is like, you just have to be willing to do this. You have to be dedicated. I mean, it's as simple as the word is.
You got to pour yourself into it, dude. You got to be willing to sacrifice what other people aren't, right? Like, find a way to prioritize what you really want in life. And there might be a few things above the profession, or it doesn't have to be coaching. It could be whatever you want it to be, but there are going to be like one or two things that are above this, whether it's family, religion. I mean, I can't really think of any two other things anything else that somebody would put above it, but right. Like it's got to be more important than that. And people talk about like keeping your circles like small. It'll take care of itself if you're ambitious, because you're not going to have time for a ton of people. And when you're sacrificing time for the people that you really do care about, they're not going to get butthurt. They're going to come understand like, oh, he's getting after it. He's so ambitious about what he's doing that he'll find time. When he has time for me, he'll give it to me. Yeah. And it's not selfish, right? Because I got plenty of friends that I don't see all the time, but they get after it. They're trying to climb the ladder in their profession, and they have families of their own and children. And when I see them, I see them. When I speak to them, I speak to them. But I got a lot of respect for the ambition they have, and that's kind of part of it.
Yeah, and I feel like as a coach too, you talked about just how like family or someone's religion, that kind of pours out into your players as well when those are your most important, because one, if faith is important to you, your morals will go into your coaching, as well as if family is important to you, you'll notice that the way they treat their staff, the way they treat their players, it'll be very family-oriented group. So I think it's very interesting that you said that, because it's true. It's those are like you got to keep your priorities.
Yeah, but if you're ambitious, I don't think anything else is you're gonna sacrifice everything else behind those two, behind your religion, your family, for whatever your ambitions pointing you towards. But for sure.
I got a question real quick. Did Casey came after your sophomore year at Lipscomb?
Freshman.
He came after your freshman year. What's it like to go through coaching transition as a player?
It definitely had.
You don't have to, I don't.
No. It's had its ups and downs. The funny thing is, Casey and I have definitely spoke about it candidly.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys kind of came in the middle of it, but I was very thankful to be playing at the level I was playing at, and was just eager to play as hard as I could. And but there were guys that were returning that weren't recruited by Casey that were studs, and they didn't choose to play for Casey at the end of the day. Like when they picked Lipscomb, they didn't. You guys are recruiting kids. When they pick your school, they're like, you know what? I have a great relationship with Coach Moran, and I love the head coach. Coach Moran's great, and I love the school. So when that coaching change happens, some people are unhappy, and I think the reason a lot of our like top guys stayed was just because we were just such a cohesive unit that like everybody wanted to stay together as a unit and continue to play with each other, and we're all still friends to this day.
Yeah.
So like, I
would say that too, man.
Tough.
Yeah. Even the group, we'll just put it Casey's kids and then Sanderson's kids. I mean, we're all still close in my opinion. I just had lunch with Dylan Green the other day. Yeah.
I mean, I think that was the great thing about the Lipscomb program is even through that transition. I mean, you two are very, very close friends of mine, and you're Casey's guys.
Right.
Guy. So like the program itself kind of breeds that family atmosphere and that camaraderie. But nonetheless, it was difficult knowing that guys that I went to battle with before Casey got there weren't very towards Casey and the direction he was taking the program in. Now I laugh about it hindsight 2020 because Lipscomb takes off, right?
Yeah.
Like people today tell me like, they're like, oh yeah, JJ played at Lipscomb. I'm like, whoa. I'm just like, y'all know, we were not this good when I was there. Like, it was not that type of party.
Yeah.
Now, did we have
ability?
We had stuff. It just didn't come together.
Hold up. But like, the funny thing is it doesn't start with just like, I mean, obviously we get Gary and Rob and kind of take off, right? Like Garrison and Rob play a huge part in that. But I think it'd be very, I don't know the exact word I'm looking at, foolish, I guess, to not think that the foundation was built with you guys. I mean, the foundation, I mean, although it could be rocky at some points. I mean, we had some instances my freshman year that it was a little rocky. You're going to have rockiness wherever you go, whatever point in career, year, doesn't matter. So although it might have seemed like I think we just put on our magnifying glass and looked at it and was like, oh wow, this doesn't look as good. When in reality, you guys were like starting the foundation, and the fact that you guys decided to stay at Lipscomb because that's how great of a place Lipscomb is. I mean, I think that's like, you guys are the start of it. We were able to come in and we were able to start it with you. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. And the funny thing is, like I tell people, our teams weren't as good as your later Lipscomb teams were. But it wasn't because we didn't have dudes like Malcolm, Martin Smith, absolute bucket getters. Like, I don't know if there's many better players than they've done while they're there. Josh Smith was the fastest to 1,000 before Gary, they both played together.
Josh, another guy that wasn't Casey guys. I still see Josh all the time.
Hold up.
Right.
There's one K-State person that was at Lipscomb. Would you like to talk about him?
Dude, what? Y'all didn't play with him, but the dude was different.
Yeah.
I played pickup with him once.
Shot the tray ball, bangs with anybody. Bro, his coming out party against Kentucky was wild.
Yeah.
Like Nerlens Noel couldn't really hold him.
There were some players. Yeah, there were some players.
The dudes were there. They decided to go with the coaching change, and that just brought some friction, dude.
Yeah.
But the dudes were there, and I think that cohesiveness kind of poured over to your group and the rest of the Casey guys that were brought in. I think how close the guys in the program are continues to play a factor in the success. So I definitely think the guys that were there prior to me and like when I was there and while you guys were coming in definitely laid a foundation. But Casey was able to elevate the level of play, bringing guys really meshed well together.
What did it feel like as a former player of Lipscomb and of also Casey's, watching Lipscomb go to the tournament for the first time? Like, was there a sense of pride? What was that feeling like?
I drove 8 hours.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome, dude. Like,
yeah.
Playing North Carolina, I'm like to the point where I'm in the nosebleeds. Brennan texts me. I got you. I'm with my boy from home, Reggie. We go, we drive, we stay. A friend of ours from high school is living in Charlotte, so we stay in Charlotte, and then we drive to the game today. It was awesome, dude. And then it's even better. It's not like I graduated and I had no idea who the people on the team were. Like I knew I was extremely close with all of you. It was really easy to just be so invested and so all in.
That's the good thing. That's the good thing, man. Even from day one for us, it was the seniors were cool with the freshmen and the freshmen were cool with the seniors. And I feel like, we all cared about each other. And I think that allowed us to be ourselves and be ourselves on and off the court. And I think that's that's attributed to a lot of the success we were able to have on down the line, was just because of the cohesiveness that was, going on between all of us day in and day out.
Yeah, for sure. A close locker room definitely breeds winning. It seems like that trickled over to you guys, and you guys were able to kind of take it to the next level, which was awesome, and it was awesome to follow. Still is awesome to follow. I know Casey's not there, but A-Cuff's a hell of a coach and is doing a great job. So, I got a lot of pride in graduating from Lipscomb and being able to support that program.
Yeah. Sure. All right, so my last question I got for you, JJ, is what is the toughest but most important lesson you have learned in the game of basketball? Specifically coaching, but if you cannot point out one for coaching, just in the game of basketball, period.
You're most likely going to be wrong more than you're right.
When did you learn this?
When I was an assistant making all the suggestions that I thought were the best things in sliced bread. Like,
really?
I don't remember exactly what happened, but I just remember my boss turning to me on the bench and not kindly, just telling me I was worthless. Like, and I thought it was a great idea. Like, I remember this is what we're going with. And he's like, okay. And it did not pan out the way I thought it was going to pan out. But I say that to say, like, you got to be able to bounce back.
Yeah.
You're going to miss shots, right? Like, I'm going to turn the ball over. As a player, right, that's what you're thinking. But as a coach, you're going to be wrong a ton. And I think it's important that as coaches, we're humble enough to swallow that pill and find a way to improve ourselves and give our programs the best chance to win or the best chance to bounce back. And as a young coach, I got to be willing to swallow that pill early, because there's no way in hell I can tell you guys I know it all. So that I would definitely say just being able to humble yourself and learn on the fly and roll with the punches.
That's awesome, man. I'm writing it down.
All right, so I got so what I'm gonna start doing, JJ, with all the guests that we have on, is I'm gonna start doing. I got 12 rapid fire questions.
Holla at me.
I got 12 rapid fire. You're the first guest that we've done this with. All right.
I would just like to say, I tell my wife all the time I could be a freestyle rapper. Y'all might.
Ooh, I got. All right.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, we could bring JC on here next.
No, JC, I hope you're watching this. You cannot rap.
Okay. Hold on. I got something for both of y'all, just to let you know. I got something for both of y'all. Anyway, back to our rapid fire questions. You ready for them?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
12 of them. Here we go. All right. Last technical.
Never got one.
So you never been kicked out of a game?
No. Actually, I got a technical my freshman year. I pivoted against Florida Gulf Coast, and my elbow hit somebody in the face. It was unintentional, but if you get an elbow to the face, you get a technical.
It's automatic technical. All right.
But as a coach, I'm not technical.
Okay. Well, second question was, have you ever been kicked out of a game? Obviously, that's a no. Have you ever dunked a basketball in 10 feet?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Foul up 3 under 10 seconds, or let it play out?
Under 10?
Foul up 3 under 10, or under 15. Last possession, they got a chance to tie.
Hold up. This one's important.
No.
Are they in the bonus or not? Are they in the bonus?
I'm not saying. They have a chance to tie it. They have a chance to tie it with a 3, or you can foul. Do you foul or let them shoot it?
You foul if it's under 5. Casey, I asked this question to Casey, and it's written down somewhere, but I think it's under 5 seconds.
Hold up. Well, this is important too. Are they in the bonus?
8 seconds you don't foul?
Are they in the bonus?
Talk to me.
If they're in the bonus and you foul with 9 seconds, it doesn't matter. You foul in the bonus when they're 9 seconds. They make 2 free throws, foul you again. You miss 1 free throw that's down by 2. They went over 3. No, you can't do it. It all. If they're under the bone, if you have a foul to give, then yeah, I'm fouling with 4 seconds left before they have a chance to get the ball up. Sorry, it's JJ's question. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, all right, okay. Leave your best player in with 2 fouls in the first half.
That's play by play. I don't know if he can play with 2 fouls yet.
Okay, go for the tie or go for the win.
Tie. I want to extend the game.
Suits or no suits on the sideline?
I'm a suits guy, but I'm not going to stunt if it starts to – I'm not old enough to be a trendsetter, so if it starts to go that way, best believe the tease is coming out, baby.
Early morning practice or evening or night practice?
Early morning practice. I got a wife. I'm going to sooner or later, and I ain't for the late stuff.
Okay. If you could not coach basketball, what would you do?
Play in the NBA? I don't – like what?
Okay. I mean, you had to pick a job other than coaching basketball.
Professionally. I should have been like a lawyer or something, to be honest.
Oh, I can see that. I can see you being a lawyer.
But that's way too much school. That's way too much reading. And
what's your
freestyle rapper? Keep going, Ace.
What's your handicap in golf?
Bad.
Are you better than anybody on this podcast right now?
Do y'all break 100?
Yes.
I don't break 100, bro. I score 100. I don't break 100. I'm trying to break.
All right. Okay.
We're probably close to the same, JJ.
I'm better than you, Nate, by the way.
Yeah, you played every single day this summer. Should
every team make the conference tourney?
Hell no.
LeBron or Jordan?
LeBron.
Boom. JJ, I appreciate you doing our rapid fire questions. That was our first attempt at it. I appreciate it, man.
You need to get better. Like you can't have questions with.
I need to reel it in a little bit more.
No. You just can't have questions with.
I feel like some of those are open ended.
With outline like foul 10 seconds. Like are they in the bonus?
I mean, do you let them shoot or do you let them or do you foul? I mean, I feel like that's a yes or no question.
He's saying if
you don't have to give your whole philosophy
10 seconds left in the game,
just.
No, bro, he's saying if there's 10 seconds left, he's trying to get you to say one word.
Yeah, like
he needs to answer with one word.
Yeah, like that's where I'm going. You don't have to give your whole philosophy. It's just
but there's a bunch of variables. We're talking about playing chess, dude.
Well, okay, all right, true.
Like how good of who are they throwing the ball into? How good of a free throw shooter?
Okay, got you. Okay, all right.
And Nate made a point. They can't have enough time to make both free throws, foul me miss, and them get the ball back. Like they can't have enough time for that.
They're going for the last shot. They are going for the last shot.
But if they're down by 3, why are they going for the last shot? Like they got to go early, and that way they can foul.
Bro, I'm letting you know. You remember Casey's philosophy. If it's 7 seconds, 7.5 seconds or above, and we're down 3, he's calling jet. They're going for a fast 2.
Yeah.
Jet.
Yeah.
So that's my point. So that doesn't mean they're going. If it's 10 seconds, I'm not going for.
Okay, well maybe I need to revise the 10 seconds part. But I'm just saying a big question is whether or not. Yeah.
Then you're going. Then I'm saying I'm living with Garrison Mathews shooting the tray ball with 10 seconds. I don't care if I think he's going to make it.
That's fine. Yeah. I'm just trying to get an answer.
All right. That's all I'm trying to get. JJ, we were. You talked to me about this leadership program. I think it was at Chestnut Hill, correct?
Yes,
Tell me a little bit about that.
So the strength coach that was at Susquehanna when I was first there, my first year, his name is David Kitchen. He's kind of been all over the place. He was one of the youngest head strength coaches in the country at 23, I believe it was, at Bloomfield in Pennsylvania. Then he goes to UNLV to be a strength coach for their football team. Then he comes back to Susquehanna. Then he leaves Susquehanna and goes to Georgia Southern as the head strength coach for their basketball team this past season. And then this year he goes into the private sector and he's starting this leadership program, and it's cool. Sorry, guys. And the program's called Edge Leadership Academy, and they travel all over the place, and they just kind of give your team a chance to illustrate what leadership is for them. gives your team or your program an opportunity to illustrate what culture is to them, kind of what the little things are. Because everybody talks about culture, everybody talks about leadership. But my version of leadership may be different than Ace's version of leadership. And if you got 15 dudes on the team and everybody's not on the same page, and I name a captain, right? And the captain's version of leadership is different than the other 14 dudes, we're in a bad boat. So he did a really good job of allowing my team, as we're trying to turn the page in the program and kind of go in a different direction, allowing my team to really illustrate and depict what an ideal situation is for them, what leaders look like for them, what culture looks like for them, and allow them to kind of speak on it and have a dialogue, which I thought was important, especially for us that since we weren't in person and we were doing stuff virtual. The Edge Leadership Academy was a great opportunity for our guys to learn a little bit about ourselves and about the direction we want to take our program. So it's definitely something I would advocate for. If there are any coaches out there looking for a program to kind of bring their team a little bit closer and give them a little bit of a better sense of direction, Edge Leadership Academy, I think, is definitely the direction you want to go in.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, JJ, we appreciate
it.
What'd you say?
I said, thank you for asking about it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was great for our team.
Good. We'll definitely go check that out for anybody listening. We might have to suggest it as well. Asa, God, man, we're lucky to have JJ on this week. You brought a lot. You brought a lot, JJ. You seemed like you might be a little nervous when I was texting you, but then you come out with all this fire, this energy, this confidence. I don't think you've ever lacked confidence in your life. That is the one thing I love about you, JJ Butler. But we really appreciate you. Short memory.
Yes, sir. It's easy to be confident when you forget the bad stuff.
That might go on the post for this episode.
There you go.
All right. Well, hey, JJ, we appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. Where can we find you, or where can the people find you on Twitter, and where can they find you on Instagram?
Dude, let me see real quick. Hold up. Tell you in 2 seconds. Did I just go black?
You did go black.
Dude, I think my Twitter handle is JJ Butler, to be honest with you.
I think it is too.
I think
King Mufasa still.
There's King Mufasa somewhere in there, but I had to retire the king. Step into a new chapter.
I think Twitter and Instagram for you is just JJ Butler.
Yeah, there might be a 5 in there. Team 5. Respect it. Shout out, Nick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, you still King Mufasa on Instagram? I'm looking at it right now.
Well, hey, King Mufasa / JJ, we appreciate you coming on. You can find us at Twitter at Mind of a Coach 1. You can find us on Instagram at Mind of a Coach. You can find my page on Twitter at Nate5_Moran and Instagram at Nate5_Moran. You can find Asa nowhere on Twitter, hacked still. You can find Asa on Instagram, however, at the Asa Spades with a Z on the end. Thank you for tuning in this week. We look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.